Hello, folks, and um, welcome to some ROBLOX scripting tutorials. So let's get right into it. Let's not waste your time. So I have Studio open, nothing else, no other tabs or windows open in Studio. You see it's all blank. And this is basically a startup introductory video to get you familiar with Studio, how to create script and whatnot. So first of all, you'll notice home, model, terrain, yeah. We will want to go to view and you will want to open these four things. Explorer, the properties window, we'll need the output, and the command bar is always useful as well. So here is your is Explorer. A workspace is basically everything in your game. There's a base plate, we can delete that. Um, uh, but let's just shove a script in server script service. We do this by right clicking, finding insert object, and then script. And you will be presented with the traditional print hello world, which if we test by going to right here and then run, you will notice it prints hello world to the output. And that is pretty simple. So print, if you want, you can add the parentheses. It's just like a sort of inbuilt function that prints whatever to the output log. And uh, this is this is basically just useful for debugging, I guess. I think it's predominantly used for debugging. Um, but yeah, that is the traditional hello world that a lot of tutorials on the website and YouTube and whatnot will present you with in every programming language, or just about. Um, but aside from that, I am going to be talking about variables. So, what is a variable? A variable is um, trying to think how to explain it. It's basically a name that holds a value or a data type, and a variable is created simply with since it's a name, you can just shove in anything in there. So I'll put my name, and then the assignment operator, which is just the equal sign, and we could shove in a number. And so we have a variable named Sean that has stored the number 8. And so if we use that print function that we saw earlier and decided to print Sean, you could probably guess what happens. It prints the number 8 to the output. Um, there are two, or actually maybe three variables. There is the normal variable, which is this here. There is let's just call it var a for variable a. We'll make that 1. That is a normal variable or a global variable. And there is another variable which is a local variable. And to create a local variable, all you have to do is shove in the local keyword in front of your name, and it becomes a local variable. So that is a local variable. This is a global variable. And arguably, local variables are faster. But I always use them. It's just a habit now. Um, or there are shared variables, which I won't get into too much now, which is simply an underscore G and then your name. And if I could create another script here, I believe, and print G or underscore G dot var C, and that should print the number 3 if I've gotten it right. Yeah. So it is what it is really. It's a shared variable. Other scripts from the server can access it. I don't think client-sided scripts can access it, so a local script, which is that. So those are the three types of variables you can have: normal or global, a local variable, and a shared variable. Um, the G is actually global. It's a table that everybody. I think you can actually use shared as well. Let me just quickly try that out. Yeah, it's called G or shared, but yeah, I won't get into that too much. Those are all you need to really focus on right now. So what kind of data types are there? There is an integer, which is just a whole number, 1, 2, 3, 4. There are number values, which I guess in another programming language, if you know one, is a float. So 2.5, 3.14, pi, 7.9. Anything with a decimal point is a number. Anything that is a whole number is an integer. Um, there are Boolean values or bool values, which is essentially just um, true and false. Um, there is a string value, which is basically a piece of text wrapped inside of double quotes or single quotes, or you can actually write it like that. Um, I haven't come across anybody who actually uses this. I tend to use double quotes. It's personal preference, really. Um, so those are pretty much the four sort of standard data types, I guess. There are more Roblox specific ones like uh, brick color values. But anyway, let's use variables in a more, uh, say, actually let's play around with variables a little bit more. It's just variables itself. So let's say we have a variable num, and num was 3. Uh, and we printed 3, num, sorry. You get 3, and you can easily change num like this, like so, and you'll get 3 and 25. So we're basically modifying the value of num already, since it's already declared. I don't think you need to add a local keyword. Or we can just get rid of the local keyword since it's just me and my habit. Variables can also be assigned to like other variables. So let's say num a is 5. Num b could be equal to num a, and then if we print num b, we not num, we should get 5, and we do. Hoorah! So that is that's basically the assignment of variables. Um, what else? Yeah, let's use variables in a more practical use. So everything, this is sort of a hierarchy, right? So everything, um, so workspace is parented to game. So to get the workspace, uh, let's get the base plate first. So we'll get the base plate. We'll make a variable, call it. Wow, I'll stop using local. We'll get the base plate, make a variable name base plate, and go game, which you can't actually see. It's invisible. You don't have to write game. You can actually just write workspace, but I prefer to use game. So game, and then dot workspace, and then dot base plate. So basically, after every dot, you're descending down the hierarchy, unless you're referencing like a property of that part or whatever. And let's so base plate is the equivalent to game.workspace.baseplate, which is this part here. And we could easily go ahead nope, and change the brick color of the base plate. Let's say brick color dot new bright red. And if we play, our base plate should change color, and it does. So you could go ahead and change everything in in properties. We could change the transparency to 0.5, 0 being visible, visible, and 1 being invisible. Just determines the transparency or opacity of your parts. We can change the material. You can either use an enum, which is simply if you type enum and then material, Studio will show like a drop down of different materials you can use. Where is it? Which one do I want? Neon. Or you could just type neon. But I prefer using enums. So if we click play again, you'll see that we have the neon material. It's not actually that good because I have set the transparency to 0.5, the material of neon, and bright red. If I change it, if I get rid of that actually, no, too big of a part. Or I probably have, actually I probably have my settings. Yeah, let's put that back again. There we go, slightly better. Actually, you can see we got the neon material, bright red, base plate. Let's see. So, oh, you could call your variables whatever you like, but there are some sort of limitations, I guess. So, uh, if your variable starts with a number, that won't work. So, this shouldn't work. Yeah, you see, that won't work. However, SHOM1 would work. You can't use keywords that Lua already has, like if or end or then or table. You can't use anything that is bold and blue, basically. Those are sort of reserved for Lua, I guess. You could assign variables on the same line if you wanted to. So A, B, C is equal to 1, 2, 3. So that is A is 1, B is 2, and C is equal to 3. And we can print A, B, C. And so we get 1, 2, 3. Let's see. I mean, you could, so AB is equal to 5 and 10. And then AB is equal to BA, print AB. We'll also print it up here. So it's the same as swapping as we did earlier. Just turns them around. 5, 10, 10, 5. Swapping them about. When I guess when the so local variables. When we make a when I introduce the local variables, there are some limitations to those as well. Let's say we have a num, and that is 5, and we use an if conditional statement, which I'll do a later tutorial on, so don't worry about it too much. If num is equal to 5, then we'll create a local variable, and we'll say ans for our answer, true, And if we tried to print ants, we will get nil. Why do we get nil? We get nil because from the beginning of the conditional statement to the end, right here, sort of everything in here is a scope. Everything here is a scope. If and is equal to true, did I do another? Yeah. If and is equal to 2, then this is its own scope. So this is one scope, this is another scope, and this is sort of like a global scope. Everybody has access to this scope, I guess. So if we take the local out, however, since it's a global variable, it'll return true easily. But local, it is local to that scope. We could print it inside here easily. Sorry. True. And then there's a global variable trying to print it nil. So that is scopes. And that is sort of all there is to scripting, or variables at least. Scripting. There's no way that's all the scripting. That's all there is to it. No. That is all there is to variables. I believe. If you have any questions, you can fire me a message on YouTube or Roblox. I'm probably most active on Roblox. Um, I mean, I'm more than happy. I'm more than happy to help. I love scripting, so you got a problem, you want to know about something, suggestions for videos, new scripting videos, just fire it all my way. I'll most likely reply to it. Uh, but yeah, that is variables, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.